Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi yessir wa la tu'assir, Rabbi tammim bil khair. Oh Allah, make it easy and do not make it difficult, and make it end well. Hello everyone. Welcome to the 7th class of our Learning Tajweed Practically program. In this class, we're going to learn the rules Idgham Mithlain and Ma'al Gunna, inshallah. As I always say, I don't want you to remember the names. We'll learn by practicing with the examples. Idgham means reciting with shaddah. Mithlain, reciting the same letters that take place next to each other with shaddah. You don't need to know these either. We'll see it all in the examples. We're reciting the Quran. There are 28 letters in the Quran, right? When two of the same letters come next to each other, two letters have to come next to each other. These could be any letters. Two letters have to come next to each other. The first one has to have jazm on it, and the second one has to have two overlines, two underlines or comma, meaning what happens if there's any of the haraka? Idgham Mithlain happens. As we're reciting the Quran, we see that two of the same letters came next to each other. Is that enough? No. The first letter has a jazm on it and the second one has some haraka on it. Two overlines, two underlines or comma, doesn't matter. What happens after that? Idgham Mithlain. Let's give another example. The letter sa. Both of them have fatha on them. Would that work? No. And why? Yeah, they are the same letters, but what else? The first letter must have a jazm on it. And this way, Idgham Mithlain happens. What do we do? How do we recite it? We remove the first letter, meaning we hide it. For example, imagine there's an A here. How would we recite this before this class? At ta. What are we doing? Hide or remove the first letter. This is how it's done. 2. Give shaddah. It's very simple. Before this class, we'd call this te. What are we going to call it now? Remove. Give it shaddah. Recite it as ette. Done. But you won't see those shaddahs when you're reciting the Quran. But now you know Idgham Mithlain. You see that two of the same letters come next to each other. The first one has jazm and the other one has some haraka. What do? Hide the first letter. Give shaddah to the other one. Recite it as ata. 1. Hide the first letter. 2. Give shaddah. Alright, so we said there are 28 letters. With 26 of them, it's applied like we just did. But what about the other two? Which one are those two letters? Let's see together. Those two letters are different, and now we'll learn them together. When we're reciting the Quran, if two nun letters or two mim letters come next to each other, one is coming next to each other enough? No. What will the first letter have? Jazm. What about the one after that? Just any haraka. Fatha, dama or kasra. Doesn't matter. And so when it's those two letters, Idgham Mithlain Ma'al Gunna happens. And how do we recite that? Think about the an example. Before this class, you'd call it anna. What do we do here? We hold it with gunna. What does holding it with gunna mean? Gunna means nasally from the nasal cavities. An. We saw this example in the previous lesson. What's the difference here? Two N letters came next to each other, or two M letters. Is that enough? No. Why? The first one must have nun sakin, meaning the first one will have jazm. And the second one will have what? Any haraka. Just like in here as an. What am I doing? Reciting it by holding it for one measure of haraka. Is that enough? No, we have to hold it. With gunna, we recite it as an. Let's look at the meme example. Before this class, we'd recite this as mu, or am me. But now we know Idgham Mithlain ma'al gunna. What do? We remove mim and hold it with gunna. What else? We recite this as me. There are many examples in the Quran. So that's how it's done with those two letters. The rest of the 26 letters are with idgham bila gunna. What do we do in idgham bila gunna? When two of the same letters come next to each other, that's step 1. Step 2, when the first one has jazm and the other has any haraka, 1, hide the first letter, 2, recite with shaddah. But is it enough that both of these are next to each other? No. What do we do when there's jazm on the first and any harakah on the second one? Again, we hide the first letter, give shaddah, and hold with gunna. Examples from the Quran. We'd normally recite this as رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ. What would we do in the olden way? We'd recite it as رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ. But now what do we know? Idgham bila gunna. We hide this and give shaddah. رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ is how we recite this. And here are examples for idgham ma'al gunna. We'd normally say this is min narin. But what do? Look, two noon letters are next to each other. First has jazm and the second has fatah. Min. By holding it nasally, we recite this as min narin. In the other example, there is one mim sakin and another mim next to it. There is a mim sakin. Alright then, what could be here? Idgham Mithlain ma'al gunna. What do? Hide noon, give shaddah and hold it with gunna. لَكُمْ مَا كَسَبْتُمْ. لَكُمْ مَا كَسَبْتُمْ. This is how we recite it. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.